A very good afternoon, everyone. My name is Saurabh Jain, and I'm from Multitel. Today, I'm here to present the services we are offering within the TEF. First, a little bit about Multitel. We are an innovation center, primarily working in bring the latest technology into the market. We help them to also their technology, something that can be trusted and can be built as a product. We have more than 100 plus researchers and engineers, and we have more than 50 projects, all of which are projects. We have one accredited EU certification. Railways train management system. We have one engineering company, Multitel. We cover all the innovation chain from the TRL level 4 to TRL 20. By the way, we are situated in Lyon. It's our head office. We have a very diversified areas of expertise from photonics to railways to artificial intelligence, IoT networks, and cybersecurity. But today's our focus is on the artificial intelligence. And within the field of applications, we have very diversified field. We work in very diversified fields. Our primary area of interest at this moment would be biomedical and medical. Now, something talking about the pains. The pains normally the SMEs have is supporting their classification of their medical device and what evidence they would like for the auditors to put in so that it's in compliance. How it's a very tedious job, to be honest, and trying to find them proper support, it just based on the regulation is often not sufficient. So we can help them in supporting the classifying. Okay.
Use the sound from here. It's better because.
Sorry, I didn't want to change anything.
Yeah, the reported problem. So.
Is it okay?
It's okay.
Someone said they have a problem.
Someone complained about the
sound problem. We have to use this.
Okay.
Okay. Can they confirm if they hear well this time?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so at the moment, yes.
At the moment, yes. Okay. Well, we believe that should be true for the rest of the presentation. Okay, I'll start a little bit back on this slide. That's the I would say the main starting point. So the pains are in classifying a medical device. We are actually talking here software as a medical device in precisely, and the evidence is that the auditor expects. So basically, helping or supporting in doing the classification of a medical devices, and what are the evidences that they will need for the audit purpose. In relation to that, also to prepare a technical file, this is a very important document when you go towards the audit, especially for medical devices. They are very, very rigorous depending upon the class that you have chosen. So we see that there is a support needed to prepare this technical file. It has a very diversified needs covering from the risk towards the usability engineering and the post-market as required by the MDR. There is also a need for the hardware testing, which is especially if the device has electromagnetic radiation, there is an electromagnetic compatibility testing that is needed for the hardwares to be used in the medical environment. And to improve the performance of the model or to test the real world performance, which means you have a medical data on which you want to test your model, or you have suboptimal results of your model on the clinical data, so we can help them to improve the performance. And last but not the least is to turn a lab demo, that's basically the idea that you have, into a pilot ready project, which means you have a model, or yes, something that is scalable and demonstrable for the product itself. And all this is based on keeping in mind the EU AI Act and the MDR regulation itself. In order to address these pains, let's call it, we try to address them in a form of services for the classification of the medical device and to prepare a technical file itself. There is a service AI technical conformity assessment roadmap where we help to start from classifying your device to its preparing a technical file itself. Then for the EMC testing, we have a simulated room for the radiated EMC testing where you can test it and can get a pre-test report. For the improvement and real test world one, and I don't, let me just move this one a little bit. We have a service AI model development and improvement where we can help you in improving the performance of your model on the clinical data, and also to test it. And lastly, for the to turn your lab demo into a pilot ready project, we have an AI and optoelectronics prototype optimization, which can help you to build a more market ready product. In addition to that, services that are coming very soon, we are in the process of making them now. The data quality testing and the model testing. And within the data quality testing, we have primarily three: the drift detection between the two data sets, representativeness, where you have to check whether the data that you're using for training or testing, is it really representative well? This is all coming again back to the MDR and the AI Act, and the fitness towards your intended purpose, to check whether what you are developing and what you are promising, are they really aligning, yes and no. For the model testing, it is about the accuracy and the robustness. Accuracy measures basically how much close you are where you should be, and precision, like if you repeat the measurements with a slight variations in your input, can you still reproduce the results with the same precision, basically. The business value that it adds for the SME is to have, if you have a proper, well-validated model, which is in compliant with the MDR as well as the AI Act, you have a very good trust towards your customers that what you put into the clinic will have good use of it, and it is well tested and documented. Having support towards the technical file helps in the smooth path towards the certification. So if you already know what the auditors expect, and we can help in then preparing that file, that means you're already fulfilling what is needed. And that's for that we all actually talk about, for example, software development, medical device, software which is a medical device itself, IEC 62304, or the risk analysis 14971, or the usability engineering 62366. These are the primary three standards which are used for the development of software as a medical device. And when we check it on the real data, the clinical data, you know the performance, what is the expected performance of your model when you will deploy it in the real settings. For the EMC testing, yes, you can test your hardware device. And the last but not the least is that we bridge the innovation and the compliance, because most of the time we have an innovation, very good idea, but at the same time, we want to see that they are being compliant with the regulations to be put into the market or to put them as a service itself. And it gets stuck. Okay. Oops, I think I went too fast. Example of a service execution. This is a fictitious example. Let me tell you that already. So there is a company called, let's say, John Doe, which is an expert in MS lesion segmentation. Their need is that they have a poor generalization across MR sites of their model, and they have they do not have a clear understanding on the MDR requirement itself. So they can contact Multitel, and we can help them with our two of our services, improve model performance and doing the technical gap analysis based on the MDR and the EU AI Act. After the output of these services are a tuned model and a technical conformity roadmap, which helps them to be in the market with a better performance. And the value that it gains is, the trust to be smoother on the market and having the performance validated on the clinical data, and thus bringing the innovation fast in the market along with the compliance. This is a real use case of the EMC testing by a company called Cortex Machina. Cortex Machina is a provider of neuroscience technology, basically the brain-computer interface devices. Their need was to do a rapid EMC testing for their device, which you see in the picture. They contacted us, and we tested their device in anechoic chamber in Mons in Belgium. That's the picture of it. And we gave them back the EMC pre-test results, which helped them in doing the CE marking. And if you see, that's the post where they say, okay, we are now moving one step closer towards the CE marking. In order to contact us, you can send us an email on tefservices@multitel.be. And from the TEF website itself, you can search for services. And in categories, if you click country and then choose Belgium, and then finally you have to choose Multitel. If you do that, you will see a screenshot, which is pasted over here. Apparently, we are in a process of updating this screenshot. And these are the services that what you see in the green box is the service which are currently available and actually will be published very soon. And the one which I describe about the data quality and the model testing will follow up as we are ready with that one. And if you want to contact, you can always have a contact name, Anne-Laure. She's the one leading here for the TEF. And the TEF services at the rate Multitel is the one that she will respond to it for all your questions that you may have. I think that's it from my side. And I'm looking forward for the collaboration. Thank you. I see it.
So do you have any questions
Yes.
for Saura?
Yes.
Maybe from here?
Oh, yeah, here. I guess. Should.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So we only share the video now. So
Just stop sharing. Oh, it's already done?
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah. Maybe you can announce
So, Jean-François, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Good, thanks. So hello everyone. I'm glad to have the opportunity to present the service we propose in the Hospices Civils de Lyon. So maybe let me just introduce what is Hospices Civils de Lyon. It's a university hospital in France, based in Lyon, in the city of Lyon. And it's one of the largest university hospital in France and probably in the top 5 in Europe, with more than 24,000 employees. So it's a big hospital with a long history as many hospitals in Europe. And probably what make a difference and what explain why we are in TEF-Health today is that we have a dedicated innovation department since now for 4 years now. And in this innovation department, there are several innovation platforms on different topics. And one of them is dedicated to robotics. And that's really the part that involved in the TEF-Health project. And this platform is called Station H, and I'm the manager of this platform. So when we are talking about robotics in hospital, we are talking about a lot of different things. It can be surgical robots, it can be robots for telemedicine, it could be, you'll see, mobile robot for logistics, and drone are part of this kind of logistic robots. It can be also exoskeleton, and in the future, it could be also be social robots. And at Station H, our goal is to act as a kind of living lab to investigate and test and evaluate all this kind of innovation on robotics for the hospital. That's really our core mission, to propose this kind of evaluation and testing in different environments. So we can test prototype, we can test new product, or even deploy solution in the hospital and provide some feedback. We can also propose and work on some emergence of new ideas and concepts. And in the framework of TEF-Health, we can propose some technical studies, some usability studies, as that will be also explained before that. And we can also work on clinical studies, especially for surgical robotics. So it's mainly for prototype testing. But if you have a product or near to reach the market product, we can also provide, because we are an hospital, university hospital, we can provide some clinical and medical economic studies and more acceptability studies, because we think that it's a key point for robotics in the hospital to deal also with this socio-economics aspect of the new innovation. And in any case, our leitmotif is really to test robots as early as possible with real users in realistic environment. And for that, we have at the heart of the hospital, we have some testing areas with different spaces. One of them, for example, is an operating theater that is really a simulated one. There is no patient will be operated within this operating theater, but we can reproduce the environment of the operating room. We can bring them some surgical teams to test some robots and have some feedback on the usability, on the technical performance. And this kind of data are quite important during the CE marking process. And we also have some multi-purpose rooms that can be configured to different environment. For example, it could be a patient room, a nurse room, or even a pharmacy. In the idea to have some representative environment to test a robot, a physical robot. And maybe the most simple is to illustrate that by some use case we have already done at in our hospital. The first one we choose is about surgical robotics and the usability evaluation of this kind of robots. Especially the last step evaluation, which is called summative evaluation, where you have to bring a panel of, in this case, surgeons. It was a robot for ophthalmologists. So we asked for a panel of 15 surgeons in a hospital to come, and we propose them some test scenarios, and they have to pass all these tests. And we have in our team a human factor specialist that is really trained to identify all the misunderstanding, all the errors during this testing. And thanks to root cause analysis, we can come back to the problem in the interface design. And that's the kind of analysis and the test report that are very important to be compliant with some specific norms and are useful for the CE marking at the end of the process. So that's very first example for surgical robots. But I'll talk also we can deal with some logistic robots. And in this case, we had a company which has developed this AMR, which is intended for transportation of surgical instrumentation. So it's a robot that goes through the corridor in the operating theater. And we test these robots with surgical teams in the real world environment to get some feedback from the future user of these systems. And once again, we rely on the human factor specialist and robotic engineer to analyze the feedback. And at the end, the company developing the robot had a comprehensive report highlighting what is validated in its system and all obviously the areas for improvement for next version of the systems. And finally, a more prospective field for us is the social robotics. And so we are working with a French company which is called Enchanted Tools, developing this very nice robot. As you can see, has a very friendly design. It's supposed to be able to bring some stuff in the hospital, maybe also in the future have some entertainment with the patient. And as you can imagine, it has many questions about the acceptability, about the performance of this kind of robots. And we are currently developing some use case scenario with the healthcare professional and the patient, thanks to design thinking workshop to co-develop this use scenario. And eventually, we will lead some user testing session, both in simulated environment and real life settings, to help the company to mature its technology and the use case for this robot. So as you can see, we can operate in many different kind of environments, operating rooms, patient rooms, services. So it's really the whole variety we can find in a hospital. And we can help to analyze many different aspects of the integration of the robot within the hospital environment, especially from a human factor perspective. So that was a key point I want to share with you today, and I'm open to answer some question, of course. Thank you very much.